Hello everyone, my name's Anthony Cummins and we're going to do the Ninja Lesson 1 today, and we're going to be working from the Bansen Shukai, which is Book of the Ninja. I will put the information down below. I'll put the link to the book down below. This was written in 1676 and it was written by Fujibayashi, and it's called the Bansen Shukai. And we're going to turn to page 44 and we're going to talk about one of the things he says here. Now he says, in the issue of detaching yourself from life and death, you should realize the root of your mind. If you want to know the root of your mind, you should first know the root of everything in the universe and the origin of your mind and body. To know what it is, you should be aware of the primary principle in the universe. Okay, so let me put that there. What he's saying is, Fujibayashi is saying that in ninjutsu, when you want to be a ninja, you must first look inside. You've got to look internally. Because if you start externally, you will go all over the place. You'll be skew-whiff and gone. Plus, if you don't keep a check of yourself, you'll end up being too far out. The best way I can say this is, if you build a tower block really high and you don't keep checking for centre of gravity, you're going to end up collapsing. You've got to keep checking the centre at all times on a building, otherwise it'll fall over. So what is the primary principle? This is not just for ninjutsu, this is Eastern philosophy in general, but basically the primary principle is that existed before matter. There was something that existed before matter. You could call this God, you could call this divine spark, you could call it the way. It's just the existence of this set of rules, this law, this all-seeing, omnipotent way that existed before matter, before time, before the universe. Now when the universe was created, it follows the way, it follows the primary principle, and it automatically, it's like a murky slush, it divides into dark and light, yin and yo, or yin and yang. And this basically gives you a separation into two. Now that separation into two mushes around and you get two elements. Do you remember the yin yang, where it has the two elements, where the black is inside of the white and the white is inside of black? They are in a constant state of flux. They are constantly moving. You see it's got movement in it. While of course it's a stationary image, there is movement inside it and it moves within itself. Now what it's saying there is, from yin and yo, from dark and light, you get the 5 elements. Earth, water, wind, fire, and void or metal. Metal normally in this. And from those elements, the 5 elements, so the 1 becomes the 2 become the 5, and the 5 become everything. So the human body is made up of metal, water, wind, air, if you will. It's got all of the 5 elements inside it. And once you understand this, Fujibayashi is saying that you can let go of the life and death situation. So that he uses the 2 Japanese kanji, the 2 idioms of life and death. And what he means is that you're concentrating on your life, you're concentrating on your death. You grab to life and you push away from death. This is the wrong way to think. Now, you shouldn't twist this though. This doesn't mean that you can just not care about death and not care about life. That's not what it means. It means you shouldn't cling to them. So of course, don't throw yourself into a pit of snakes and die. Try to stay alive, but give in to fate. Give in to the reality of the universe, that the universe has a plan for you. That's what he's trying to say. So when you're becoming a ninja, when you're going into ninjutsu, you have to keep returning to this idea that there is a divine plan, there's a divine way. You've got to be careful here, because it can become too Christian or it can become too Eastern. And of course we're talking about an Eastern way, but I want to make sure we try and stay away from the connotations. But in short, it's saying, have trust in heaven, have trust in the way. There is a way for you, and he says, Fujibayashi says here, when you are in your mother's womb, it is determined at the point you will die. Yep, it is determined. But that doesn't mean you should be reckless. It means there is a point for you somewhere along the line, that could change. This gets debatable. The idea is that there's maybe a physical time where you die, or there's a place in your life. So you might reach that place at 30, you might reach that place at 45, but when you have succeeded in what you need to do, then you will die. So that's the sort of counter argument to people when they say, oh, if your time is set, then just throw yourself in the road, you'll survive every time, or throw yourself out of a plane, you will not die. But I think it's not so literal in that they think, oh, on July the 1st, 2055, you're going to die. I don't think it's like that. I think there is a time when heaven says, there you go, that is your time. And it may be in flux and it may change. But that's just my opinion on fate, and fate is a big subject to go into. But basically, for a student of ninjutsu, you have to realise, if you're following the way of ninjutsu, that there is a way set before you. There is the idea of life and death, and that you have to detach from life and death. And once you are detached from life and death, then of course, in addition to that, you are a well-behaved, good person, because ninjas may be deceitful and horrible, but in their core they have to be good. So once you've got that, then trust the way, trust heaven, and do your best, and you may get your ninja mission fulfilled and done. Okay, that is ninja lesson number 1. Today we've worked from Book of Ninja, which is the Bansen Shukai. I'll put the information below. If you want to know more about ninjutsu and how to follow ninjutsu, subscribe here, and I'll try and keep you up to date as much as possible.